Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, going to your story titled, My wife, a 28-year-old female, says she wants to have an open relationship so she can continue to have fun during a night out. I am not comfortable with it. How should I take this? And guys, it's good to be back. It's been a week since I did a show. It's a very long stretch, and I didn't want to do that. Had a lot going on. Of course, I had tons of content for SSM, but I'm back here with regular shows. This is all about a guy who's writing in about his very bad predicament. His wife, who he married ridiculously young, and I do mean ridiculously young, not too happy with her marriage. So instead of working on it, communicating, she wants to open it up so she can have fun with other guys. And of course, as you can imagine, this isn't going very well. And I'm doing this one yet again to show you that this open marriage, open relationship nonsense does not work. And the second your wife or girl brings this up, it's over. End of story. Problem is, in this story, and a lot like others, there's kids involved. And it's an unbelievable shame. But even more, you're going to see they got married at 18 years old. How stupid is that? I mean, what the hell's the rush? They're kids raising kids, and they had 3 kids after that. And she now wants to be able to ride the carousel like her friends and all, and thinking that he'll be okay with this. There'll be a very good one here to go over, you guys, again, to show you the world that we're in right now and the mess that these types of things bring about. And you're going to see how this whole thing goes about. It says here, okay, so a little more detail and background here. My wife and I got married at 18 years old. Smack! You guys are fucking dumbasses. I know, really young. We never done anything crazy. No swinging, 3-somethings, etc. There have been conversations about it, and I was the main instigator, but my wife wasn't interested. So you're bringing this up, and now you're complaining because down the road she's bringing up open relationships? We had 3 kids, all under 7 years old. I was in the process of joining the military when we started going out, and did 7 years before she asked me and made an implied ultimatum to me to discharge. At that stage, we had 2 kids, and I was away a bit and cared about being around for them more. So I discharged and went to university. So we're all thinking here, he was in the military for 7 years. That's probably why he married her. 18, get better accommodations and out of the barracks and everything. But we all know the stereotype of when the guy goes away and is deployed. How does he know these kids are his? Or at least one is not? Think about it. We had to move in with her parents, renovating the downstairs part of their house. My in-laws are great, no problems there. Just around that time, we found out that my wife was pregnant again with our third, but we committed ourselves to the plan. 12 months ago, we had a big argument. I am the a-hole in this situation, about me messaging a friend, a woman from university, too regularly. It wasn't at any point sexual, romantic, or otherwise between me and this woman, but my wife believed it was inappropriate. Well, I agree with her. I don't agree how the wife is in this story, but in that situation, you're a married fucking man, you got kids, you should be talking to and buddies with some girl, and of course she's going to assume the worst. But on the other hand, this guy, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, is not cheating or anything, he's just being friends with this girl, but the wife immediately thinks the worst. So it makes me question, what's the wife up to? What was she up to while he was away? You got to question these things. But anyhow, it was just a dumb move on his part. As I didn't think anything was wrong with it. Eventually I stopped messaging and pretty much ghosted the university friend. But despite ending communications with the woman, it did not resolve any daily arguments that we were having. And the subject of arguments moved to me generally being a bad person and dad, and that she didn't love me. Okay, so she wanted you to quit the military. I gotta wonder, it's because you're never around, or because maybe she really wanted you to get out of there quick because there's something that, I don't know, like one of their kids is going to start looking a lot like the neighbor. I don't know. And now she's admitting that she just doesn't love him and anything like that. That tends to what happens when people rush into relationships. Like they really knew each other that well, and they got married at 18. This is just a downward spiral. All this climaxed around the examination period of university, so my grades slipped a bit. Oh, thanks, wife. The collective effect of all this resulted in me getting depression, and I'd never had depression before. Like I've said before, but this was like waking up every day feeling, and the first thought being, I'm going to die today, and finding no reason why I shouldn't. I feel for all those who go through life with chronic depression. I'd gone to see a psychologist for a few sessions. Anyway, in January this year, I tried committing offing myself. Things calmed down a bit, and after that, they've been pretty normal until this week. Dude, it's never the answer. Depression's horrible. I've had it. It's in my family, but you got to get treatment, but you can't off yourself. You got too much to live for. But notice that she's not much of a help here. Really. So here's the reason for this post. Last Friday afternoon, my wife, while casually putting on makeup before going to a comedy club with a girlfriend, brought up the subject of having an open relationship. To paraphrase, here are some of the things that she said. Number one, she said, I think we're at a point in our relationship where we can start seeing other people after a night out. What are you talking about? You're married. You have children. What the fuck is the matter with you? Two, I just want to be able to continue the fun during a night out. Number three, it's not about hooking up. It's about continuing the fun with someone that when you're out. So why are we married? What's the point of this marriage? But remember, she said earlier she's not in love with him, and yet they're still together. Next one, I feel like I wasted my 20s raising kids. It takes two to tango. You are an active participant in making those babies. You're the one that also got married at 18. So you make your bed, you lie in it, honey. Next one, she says, I want to know that I still got it. Translation, I want the attention and validation. I want to be noticed. It shouldn't matter because you have a husband and children that love you. Next one, I don't have to turn down a hand on the shoulder or a drink from a guy while I'm out. And this is when this guy should say, get the fuck out. Go out, have a great time, but don't come back. Go stay with your sister, go stay with your family, go stay with your friend, but we're done. That's what he should do here, regardless of having kids, because this is just a downward spiral. Probably the reason he wanted to off himself and he was so depressed is because he has no support at home. Overall, I got a pretty I'm happy with my life vibe, you think? I remained pretty casual about it and told her that I'm not okay with it. She said, I still love you, and that we wouldn't do it since I wasn't okay with it, but sounded very melancholy about it. Then it hit me with the but, and tried to talk about how I'm hot and could pick up a woman if I wanted to. At this point, I was getting over it and told half-heartedly she should just leave me. She palmed it off, and I walked away. So I like how she was saying that, oh, you're hot, you can get any girl you want. Yeah, to make him more interested so she can go do what she wants to do. People don't bring up marriages or open relationships unless they're already getting hooked up, they're hooking up with somebody else, or they already have somebody in mind. Always. And I guarantee more has been going on probably when he was deployed. It makes me question the paternity of his children. And she's trying to sell him on, oh, you can hook up with other people. Nobody that loves their husband, no one that loves their guy wants him hooking up with other women. Never. Now here are the things that concern me about this conversation. Really? How about everything? Firstly, our sex drives are very different. Hers is low, like once a week is plenty for her. It's not excessive. Mine is high. So can someone explain to me if this concept of continuing the fun is legit? Because in her case, it may be, since yeah, she doesn't enjoy having sex that often. Yeah, you're not getting any very often because she's not interested in having it with you. But all of a sudden, she's very interested in having it with other people. Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0, guys. And this is what happened when babies have babies. Kids get married essentially because they were 18 legal adults, but let's be honest, they were kids. No fucking maturity whatsoever. Maybe, obviously, he was a little bit better than her. The other thing is that we don't party very often. She goes and has girls' nights out with friends every few months. Oh, God, I can imagine what that means. But she usually calls me to pick her up at 12 o'clock or so. I don't go out, party because the money is tight, and I can justify it. Mostly because I have a very few friends, and I keep it in contact with none that I can really go out with. And also, I'm an introvert. Here's my next concern. My wife was my first friend that was a girl, and my only girlfriend and sexual partner. She knows I'm introverted, and making a stereotypical conversation at a nightclub or bar with other women would just be the most difficult thing for me to do. So she's obviously trying to convince me for what reason. An open relationship is not going to work for me, and is going to be one-sided. Especially when I asked, could dating apps be used, and she said no. Yeah, she knows darn well this guy is introverted. He's not a big social butterfly, and it's going to be hard for him. But for her, she's in her 20s. Even after having kids, if she's remotely attractive, she's going to have no problem getting dudes. And again, there's very likely dudes already in the picture. Anyway, I got pretty upset about it, and she left for the show and tried not to think about it. I was still awake when she got home, and she was a little drunk. She tried to talk to me a little, but I gave her the bare minimum response. She then suggested SCX, but I turned her down. Come on, she knew you weren't interested. She knows I'm upset with her when I turn it down. The next morning, she tries to cuddle in bed. She normally never does this, and I give her the cold shoulder, at which point she asks if I'm going to be like this all day. I say I just need time to process it. What we talked about last night. We pretty much don't talk for the rest of the day, and I have the I'm going to die today voice start again. I get through all the day all good. So why aren't you kicking her out? You know? And she knows this guy's bad depression. She knows these things are going to set him off. Do you think she cares? No, she probably would actually be happy. I bet you if he offed himself, because then scot-free. You know? Obviously, that'll mess up the life insurance if they have any, but you get my point. On Sunday, yesterday, I'm over it, and my wife knows it too, and that I'm not really wanting to talk about it. We had my wife's sister and her husband over yesterday for dinner. Everything is going well, but after my wife has had a few glasses of wine, in a blaze of glory, she starts talking about the topic of an open relationship. Now she's doing it with other people around. She has no respect for this guy. I shut it down. So my wife and her sister head to the kitchen to talk about it. At this point, I think my wife is trying to get justification for herself and her ideas about it. But the kicker here is that my wife's sister got caught sleeping and cheating on with her husband's best friend. So not the best person I think she should be talking about it, but whatever. So her sister's a big cheater too. So yeah, you really, like her sister's going to say, don't do it. So that brings us here to today. And my wife and I are not talking, except to get the kids sorted for school, etc. Sorry for the long-winded story. I don't know what to do at this point. I thought about marriage counseling, about leaving, all the things I thought about until it goes in circles. I'm not afraid of divorce, but that is going to suck for me and the kids. What's the alternative? Staying with someone that treats you like this? Because if you allow this, it's going to get worse and worse. And having your wife boned by somebody else, and imagine her getting pregnant, and then she'll then probably say it's your kid, and you'll be raising somebody else's kid if you're not already. End it. Talk to a lawyer. Find out your options, good, bad, or ugly, and that's that. And yeah, the kids will be upset, but you said they're all under 7, so in time and with help and therapy, and you being a good dad, they will adapt as best possible. But you cannot stay in a marriage like this. These kids are going to see you and your wife having a bad relationship, probably hating each other's guts over time. And if you're not careful, they'll end up in a relationship like that themselves when they're adults. Should I try to talk to her about it again? No. Is this open relationship talk a warning sign? Dude, it's a giant red fucking flag flashing at you, waving at you. Am I just being pathetic? Can someone help me understand her perspective? Her perspective is that she wants to know she still has it. She wants to hook up. Her perspective is she's a selfish a-hole. She's a terrible wife, terrible mother, and you two should never gotten fucking married. But you were dumbass kids, thought you knew better. I would like to state that there's always two sides to a story. This is just my side of how I feel and how I perceive things, which is subject to my own interpretations of the situation. Don't try to make it like she's some kind of victim here, dude. Now there's an update. He says, so I confronted her about why she brought up the open marriage, and she admitted that she isn't happy in the marriage anymore. No shit. But thought an open relationship would solve the problem. He says, yeah, hers. She doesn't want to separate either because, according to her, that it's way more difficult in regards to the kids, work, etc., and she would rather just sacrifice her happiness just to play happy family, but for how long? I told her I'm not doing that because we would just spend the rest of the time resenting each other and life would be worse. I told her she would need to fix the problem or we would separate. Well, you should be separating anyway, man. And a lot of people will be like, stay in it for the kids, go to a therapist, go to couples counseling. No, it's done. It's over with. I've done too many of these fucking stories to think otherwise. Not to mention, I've lived quite a life. She couldn't and wouldn't give me an answer. But I'm gonna chase it up in a day or two because fuck living like this. Who knows if it can be fixed. She obviously has had time to think about it to get into open relationship level, or as some of you have suggested, she's already opened it up, though she did not say she has cheated. But I have nearly zero mutual trust left at this stage, so who the fuck knows? Also, apparently all her sister said was to go ahead and get therapy. F off, what else? This is not going to work. And of course she doesn't want to break up because, as she says, it's going to be tough with the kids, more importantly, tough with finances. Because then you're going to have two households, and it's easy for her to be in the same household and have him watching the kids while she's out doing what she does, and the finances split between two people, etc., etc. She makes out like a bandit in this deal. He does not. And he says, thanks everyone for the advice. Well, you may not like the advice. End it. It's over. It's not going to work. She doesn't give a shit about you, and I guarantee she's already cheating already. Talk to a lawyer. And I might add, you may not have a lot of money, but find a way to finance this with the lawyer, and I'd probably hire a PI too. I'd start checking her phone, checking her laptop, anything to find out evidence here. Following her when she goes out, whatever, and get the evidence. I just hope he's in a no-fault divorce state. Now, a few comments before I wrap up this story. One guy says here, it either gets worked on and fixed or breaks down and you separate. You can bet your bottom dollar that she knows what separation looks like, and it's going to suck huge donkey balls for her and her partying lifestyle. It's hard to be attractive to the type of guy she's probably looking for with 3 kids and a divorce under your belt. That's a showstopper for pretty much any guy in their late 20s. With her safety net rapidly disappearing, she's going to hit the brakes on this, and hit the brakes hard, but it is too late. Know that having 2 unhappy parents living together under the same roof is a nightmare for the kids. So if you're thinking about staying together for the kids, is a great idea. Think again, because it's actually the opposite. Exactly. So at this stage, I see the 2 options. You either are breaking up, it's probably the best of the 2. You no longer trust her, and she no longer loves you, and all you keep having, the only thing keeping you together is the kids, and that is never for a good reason to stay. If you don't trust her, you can't have a relationship without trust, period. Financially, as you are yet to fully start your career, divorcing now before you do is beneficial for you, as it will allow you to grow your career whilst caring for your kids in a co-parenting arrangement with your wife, your soon-to-be ex-wife, and she won't have as much of a call for an alimony as you start to make more money. Anyway, he's in school right now, but once he starts making money, she's going to get a piece of that. She has a job and can support herself, and together you can co-parent on an equal basis. I'm struggling to see the downside of divorce, to be honest. Exactly. And one more. This guy says, I divorce her before it gets more messy. She's out of this relationship. You just don't have the heart to tell her. Don't have that heart to tell her that yet. You have kids to keep things civil. Have a conversation with her. Do a trial separation and see how things go. No trial separation. It's not going to work. And fuck it, one more comment. This guy says here, sorry, but wanting an open relationship is usually a death knell for a marriage. She's talking about it with her sister, for crying out loud. She obviously is not happy in your marriage. Maybe she thinks she's letting you down easy or trying to make it easier to live with herself by suggesting an open relationship rather than a split. She's doing everything to make it easy for herself. Do you think that she's okay with you continuing the fun after a night out too? Should you be able to explore and see if you got it too? That's what an open relationship is. Don't let her tell you that it's not about hooking up. Of course it's about hooking up. That's just insulting. I guarantee you that this guy really had the charm and charisma and personality that can attract other women pretty easily. She'd be thinking twice about this, but she knows him. Knows he's not going to go for this. He's not going to be out there, but she's got dudes lined up, guaranteed. So guys, another example, this stuff doesn't work and the chaos it causes. And when it gets that bad, best to part ways. But a lot of people they have to go through the hell before they see reality. And of course, how stupid it is to get married that young and keep pumping out kids. Again, it's like babies having babies. Alright guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. And guys, you find a good story, definitely send it to me. strongsuccessfulmale@gmail.com. Just give me some time to get to it and I definitely will. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.